when you were talking about the TV industry as a whole yesterday, and the places where it's going wrong and the places where people need to try and fix things, to have that outside eye, even though you're very much part of it now in some ways. But you know, it's quite unusual to have someone who has become so successful so quickly and retained that outsider perspective, but also knows enough to know what's going wrong. And were you happy with, did you feel good about the response yesterday? Did you feel that people were taking what you were saying on board, or is it too early to say?
It's way too early to say. I mean, I don't know, you know, because...
I'm not suggesting we should fix diversity overnight.
No, I mean, diversity, another word, I'm like, what?
Yes. What does it mean?
I don't know. I gave the speech, you know, the MacTaggart board were happy, but I then went to my mate's house because she lives in Edinburgh, and we chilled, you know, so I haven't... You
haven't processed it yet?
No.
But I think you seem very genuinely honoured to be delivering it.
Oh my God, yes. Because even just in doing it, it meant I had to think and research and call people, and because I didn't understand, you know, it made me ask people why. And then when you realise other people haven't asked why, you realise that questions are really important. And that's what this allowed me to do. You know, I'd never heard of the MacTaggart Lecture. I'd never heard of James MacTaggart.
You name it.
Yeah. You know, and my agent was like, you know, they've asked you to do the MacTaggart, and I was like, hey, what's that? He was like, just do it. And then I was like, it's like a speech. I was like, sure. And then I assumed, you know, it's like a 5-minute speech, and then my agent was like, no.
What it is everybody in your world will be in one room.
And it's for 45 to 50 minutes. I was like, you never mentioned that, agent. But like, it had, I mean...
They shouldn't have left that to the night before.
No, but they know to... Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, but that amount of time to say something means you have so much thinking to do. That's why I'm so, you know, I said in the speech, the urgency, it's instilled in me to learn. I learned so much, and I probably, because I'm writing my series, it meant, when did I begin this? When did I begin writing for this? Something like 2nd of August. And so it was really intense. Like, you know, I went away, you know, just to Somerset, and I was just like calling, you know, all the people I know in the industry, just like trying to work everything out. And I would not have been able to do that had I not been asked to do this.
It's like you went to a really intense TV school.
For real. Yeah.
And almost learnt the industry top to bottom to supplement what you've learnt through experience.
Yeah.
Has the process of the experience of making TV series, acting, writing, being involved in the producing, and now all this research that you've done intensively for the MacTaggart Lecture, has it changed your ambition for yourself within the TV industry?
Well, the weird thing is, I mean, I have never had any, not only ambition in the TV industry, ambition. I'm just like, I'm the person, when you play Monopoly, I'm just happy to like, I'm not bothered to like play, you know?
Yes.
So it's like I find myself, I enjoy storytelling.
I always used to win a Monopoly, be relieved if I got a go to jail card, because it meant I could just relax for a bit.
Yeah, you can just chill, you know, it's like...
You've got to get out of jail free card there. Yeah, all right. I'm just going to let this go round.
Yeah, you know, like, and then even like my neighbours right now are really into playing poker, not for like money, just for like, I don't know, because I don't play. Because I'm like you know, that sounds like...
I think it's interesting, but it's interesting in terms of temperament, because something my dad always used to say is people generally are usually competitive or determined. And I think, you know, not one of the pleasures of being artistic or creative is you can often not have to be competitive, hopefully, and to be determined.
I'm definitely determined.
Yeah, to not measure yourself against other people or anything, but simply to set yourself a goal that only you define. You are entirely self-defining, and then to be determined to reach that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that contributes to how you've managed to stay sane and healthy, and that you're not comparing yourself to other people in the industry?
Never that. I mean, I'm just... I mean, I'm like the story is my. I am determined to try and make the best stories I can at whatever point I'm at in my, place in my brain, and to try and make the best stories. I only recently, the last 2 years, I've learned if I'm going to make a character that these are, you're trying to make people that other people believe could be real. So then I have to look at perspectives, because these characters aren't all me. So I have to go, okay, I'm writing this person, or maybe this is just the bad guy. And I'm like, but how did this person come to be this person? Is there such a thing as good and bad? You go perspectives, and I'm determined to make the best story. Then that means I'm determined to, that's a world. So I'm determined to see the world for the truth and actual innocence and beauty that the world is. Sorry if I sound like a kooky creative.
No,
I'm just
that's right. I think you should sound exactly like that.
Yes, because it permeates into everything. It permeates into who you work with, and you go, there isn't a good or bad guy. You go, where are you? What happened to you? And when you came into this industry, you wanted to tell stories, didn't you? And now you're this person in this place with all this noise. Where were you when you came? How are you now? What's the difference between, what changed? When did that begin? And then you have to I want to encourage people to look at their lives and their careers and how they feel now, because I don't think we're allowed that space to ask ourselves, especially when you go to, the head CEO, blah, 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 blah. You don't get that chance. And I really want to encourage people to have that. The one thing you're entitled to is that space to ask yourself questions and seek answers.
But sometimes people are frightened of the answers.
Yeah.
And what the answers may mean, the implications of the answers.
Yes, and then that is also awesome, because the implications may mean you may have been a little bit wrong. Then you go into this space where it's like, oh, now I'm it's a bit clearer, and that's more comfortable.
Have you, when you've been asking yourself the deepest questions about what you want and who you want to be and what you want out of life and your career, have you come up against answers for yourself, particularly in the last 5 years since you've really become very successful by some definitions? Have you had answers that you don't like initially, or that you're frightened of, or that intimidate you?
Yes, and I think one of the things where, when I talk about our house, this industry, I became clearer of, or I'm becoming clearer of what my role is in this industry. I love telling stories, but in terms of the misfits, which, once again, I will say crosses concepts of gender, of race, of everything, I want this process of entering the house and finding your role in what, part are you fixing, what wall are you painting. I want the process to be easier for other people. I really do. And that is really it for me.
I think what you're defining is something really important, which is that if everybody is individually themselves asking themselves honestly the questions they need to ask, and then having the courage and the curiosity to deal with the answers, collectively we will all improve.
Yes.
But we have to build space into how we work and how the industry works.
And courage.
To let people do that.
Yes.
To have that time.
Yes, yeah. And, I was thinking about it this morning, and I was describing this kind of it's like a boogie monster, this thing that makes us feel like we can't talk about things or do things. It's like, this boogie monster is a fucking boogie monster. It's not real. We can. Why not? Why not? That's the question. And then if we ask ourselves why not, we discover a boogie monster. It's not even there,
it's not even there. Yeah. And just finally, you talked about this house and that this is not my house, and brilliantly illustrated the reminder of the foundation that was too pale for anyone other than the most Nordic of backgrounds.
Right.
But what this is not my house. Do you feel, and I hope in some ways you do, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you feel a little bit that you have a part of this house now?
100%. That's why, at the end I say I want to play whatever part I can in helping fix this house. It's definitely, and that's why I get to the 95%. This is actually, we're all here as misfits. We are all, or we were at one stage, misfits. When did we find ourselves blending for a feeling of safety, you know? And it's about stepping back from that and going back to your, you know, how do you feel? What are your morals? How do you operate? Are you in line with that when you go to work? You know, if we do consider this a house, think about how your house runs a home, you know, your real house. It's all metaphorical, you know, and we are part of this house, and I'm definitely a part of this house, and I want to help.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's a great place to end.
Boom.
Thank you ever so much, Michaela.
Pleasure. Thank you, guys.